Well, g'day guys, Morezy here. Welcome back to Morezy Plays Minecraft, episode number 50, the World Tour episode. In this episode, guys, we are going to be taking a tour around the world to see all the creations we have made thus far, and hopefully you guys have fun doing that. Now, I will also provide a world download in the description for my single player world. It was something I was unsure about. I didn't know whether I wanted to do it yet or not. There are a lot of things here that aren't polished, as you already know. There are a lot of things that I would like to have finished before releasing my world for a download. But I'm sure you guys can take that into consideration when you download it. Just a little note on that, it is about 450 megabytes at the moment. I'm going to try and trim that down so it's a little bit smaller, and then of course run it through a zipper, and then I'll put the link for the download once I've finished that. But we're going to get right into it here. We're going to try and go as quickly as we can without missing too many things. And yeah, hopefully you guys have fun, and we'll see how we go. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to take a look at in this world tour is not the iron farm, which is where we are right now, but we're going to go over to the horse farm, which is way over in the distance, 2,000 something blocks away, and to get there we're going to use the Ender teleporter system. So what we're going to do here is, hopefully when you guys have loaded this world, all you need to do is step onto this pressure plate, and you are teleported immediately to the horse farm, which is 2,591 and negative 1,200, and that is quite a way away. Okay, let's talk about this briefly. So this system is something that I'd been working on. It is a design by Test, and Test had made it possible to get ender pearls to stay in midair after you've thrown them, and then with the use of wireless redstone we were able to create this teleporter system. Now it is very important that we actually refill this teleporter when we use it, otherwise it's very long and tedious to get back, and I haven't made a suave way to do it yet, but well, that won't work either. I'm going to just fix this up and we'll have a quick look. Okay, so first thing you need to do up here is reset this system. Just update this piston at the top. Make sure you get rid of it, like that. And that is ready to accept another ender pearl. So I'm just going to put one of those in here now, and the way you use this is you just stand facing the boat, and you look straight up, and then you just throw the ender pearl, and it gets stuck in that redstone block up there. And it stays there until we trigger it for later. So we've technically thrown that, it's not falling, it's just staying there, and that's how we teleport from here back to the iron farm, and back here and back to the iron farm with zero wait time pretty much. Alright, let's take a look at the horse farm. Okay, so these are some of the horses that I have left to test. All of these horses were collected from the plains in this area. That is why I set up a horse farm here, because there was that many horses here, and there's a whole bunch of them over there as well. But these were all collected by hand, none of them have been bred, so they're all naturally spawned horses, and I reckon there's probably somewhere in the realms of about 100 plus horses here, just naturally spawned. So pretty fruitful area for horse farming. This here is my grid setup that I use to class the horses as I get them. So on this side we've actually got jump height, so this is in blocks, so 0 to 1.5 blocks, 1.5 to 2.5 blocks, 2.5 to 3.5, and so on and so forth, all the way up to 5.5 or higher. And it looks like it's about to get dark here. Let's just sleep if we can. But this is how we line up the horse's jump height, and then we also do it versus the horse's speed. And so let's take a little look at that as well. Oop. Okay, so the speed goes this way, starting at 14, which is pretty fast, going all the way down to not very fast. So these are 7 down to 4. I stopped counting at 4. So these little figures that we're looking at are actually determined by these machines over here. And I don't know if I've got a saddle. I don't think I do. I think I actually used the saddle from here not long ago. So not very well prepared. It's a shame you can't actually make them. Yeah, I did have a saddle right there. So you guys will have to try this out for yourself. But basically what we do is we grab a horse from this area here, and we head over to this area. And it's going to be a real shame that I can't show you. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go get a saddle and we'll come back. Alright, so saddle in hand, let's give this a bit of a test. Let's see if any of these horses will play nice and help me with this demonstration. There we go, excellent. Alright, so this is how we test our horses. Oh, this guy is a terrible jumper. Okay, this is only going to really show the speed test. So this is our speed testing machine, and I've got a video on both these machines, and you should check that out if you want to know how to build them. But basically all we have to do is run in a straight line, and when we see this number here, that is the speed of our horse. And you use it for comparison, so a 9 is pretty average, 14 or 15 is pretty good. So this is our jump tester. We just walk in here where the fence gates are, hit jump, 2.5 to 3.5 blocks. Okay, so if we go over here now, we can find 2.5 to 3.5 block jump height, which is this one, and then a 9, so we'll go, this is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 9 I think is about there. And that is how we test our horses. And as you can see, we've got a few bunched up there, so that is pretty average. We do have a couple of really good guys, including this one right at the end here, which is awesome at 14 speed and 3.5 to 4.5 jump height. And the idea is we would breed those guys together and get some really good horses. So that is still the plan, and that is pretty much the horse farm here. And what I want to show you as well is some of these little hoppers which you may have seen around. These hoppers are actually loading chunks. So there is a cobblestone block in there, and we're actually on the border of a chunk. If we go F3, you can see my chunk is going from 0 to 15. So this is a chunk border, and that is important because we need this chunk that this machine is housed in to operate like a spawn chunk in order to keep that ender pearl up there. So let's see how that is done by heading back to the iron farm. Well, that took a little bit longer than I thought, but we made it. Oh, and I'm glitching in the blocks. Glitching in the blocks. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're back here at the iron farm. Yep, 136 by 24, 25. And this is where the business happens. I'm going to show you quickly here the little lattice work of loaded chunks that I've got over here. Now, the trick to that, making that system work, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but basically we use a few little tricks to do with arrows shooting into half slabs, and they become unclear as to whether they're in one block or another, so their position actually defaults to 0, 0, and they end up in the chunk where 0, 0 is, which is this chunk right here. It's actually down the bottom. There's a hole there. It's right down the bottom of that hole, stuck in the rock. Now, when that happens, it also doesn't despawn, so it stays there all the time, not like a normal arrow, which would despawn after a couple of minutes. So then what I've got is these chunk loaders, and this is an idea by Sark, I think, and the chunk loaders is basically a hopper facing into another chunk on the edge with an item inside, and because of that, the chunk is always being checked to see if the hopper can put something in it. That essentially loads it. And if you look out here, there's quite a grid work here, and we've actually got a 5 by 5 chunk area loaded, and what that means is 0, 0 becomes a loaded entity processing chunk, which will do everything a normal chunk would do when the player is standing in it. So that's like mobs moving around, redstone working, entities on the ground despawning, that kind of thing. And we use that to make the arrow loaded. And then back at the horse farm we have a little machine that you may have seen in the corner with the dispenser. That is where the arrow came from. So through the magic of chunk science, that chunk where the arrow was shot also becomes loaded. Then we load a 5 by 5 area of chunks over there, and that central chunk becomes a spawn chunk too. And that allows us to do this system, and we can actually, if we do this real quick, I'm just going to show you. I'll set that up again, and we'll shoot another guy up here. Hopefully I'll get it. Okay. Oh, hang on. Sometimes that happens. Let's throw him up again. There we go. He is stuck. Let's see if we can get back to the horse farm. There we are. Oh dear. Oh man. Okay, that didn't go to plan. Okay, just ignore that. Something happened there that has never happened before. I'm not too sure why. But basically, what that means is, as you can see, we did get teleported back there, but there was obviously something in the way, and we got stuck inside it. So that wouldn't happen if you designed this thing properly. This is just experimental and messy at the moment. I think this system will actually break once 1.9 comes out anyway, so I'm not too worried that it doesn't quite work the way I intend it. But yeah, I'll try and have that running for you when you get back. So when you download the world, you should have a valid way to get there and back, as long as you make sure you put another ender pearl back in when you do that. Alright, let's take a look now at the iron farm. So the iron farm is just inside this mountain. And this little rail line actually brings reject villages from our villager sorting system, which I'll show you in just a bit. And here is your basic iron farm. Very simple setup. And I'll just get up here. We can take a little look. So it's got all the villagers from the rejects of the automatic villager sorter system that we've got. And it could probably do with some more. And it just spawns in the iron just like normal. And as you saw on the front, we've got a little mural of an iron golem. Let's see if we can... You know, I don't have any tools. I think I won't be able to get out of here very easily. Is that open? No. Alright, so anyway, down here we've got the drop chest, and I've just recently emptied it for a project that I'm working on, which you'll see next episode. But there is iron in there, which is good. Let's go... Alright, let's go through the portal, and we'll head back. So that is the iron farm. We'll probably eventually dismantle this and build a really high efficiency one somewhere. Make it a bit more useful. Let's get back to the nether. Okay, so while we're in the nether here, I'll just show you quickly if you want to get some places. So this is our small little nether hub. This portal here is for the iron farm, of course. And if we go up and around the corner, you guys have probably seen me make this trip quite a few times. This portal here is for the main shack where we want to go. And the portal down under here is for the big hole that we're digging. And that portal over there is for the end portal. Alright, let's go back to the main shack area. Okay, so this is where it all began. This is the first little house that we built, I think almost in episode 1 even, and it's still standing. While it has been blown up quite a few times, it is still standing, and this is where we stayed for a very, very long time, and some of the items in these chests are probably the original items that were in there since I started as well. I know that some of these guys are being cleared out. We've got a tiny little farm here that I haven't really touched for a little while, and the chest down there. This is where I was getting a lot of my wheat and stuff when we first started. And of course down there we've got our mining and other little experiments down there. Alright, what I'm going to do, just get some food and stuff, and we'll go and take a look at some more areas here. Okay, so I've got the basics of basics on my hotbar. Alright, let's take a quick look around. So this is my little chicken farm. And there is so much chicken in there I can't even keep up to eat it all. So that is very handy. This over here is a graveyard. Now the graveyard started off very early on, and I was planning not to die in this series, or at least try to. This is my first death right here. Here lies Morezy 1, episode 1 to episode 2, so I didn't make it very far. And he died building a mob system by derping and falling off a ladder. Now that mob system is that one up in the sky, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that very soon. And there's a few other deaths here, and frankly what happened is I started dying so often that making these gravestones became pretty tough. And I think what I might do instead of making a gravestone for every time that I died, I might just do it for every time I died on camera. And that way I won't have to spend my whole episode making gravestones, because I die a lot, let me tell you. Alright, this one over here is for my very first horse that I got. He was tied up to a fence over there, and I don't know how, but he just died, disappeared. So he died somehow, we're not sure how, and I think we've got some of, no, there is some chests under here with some bones in. Maybe it was this one. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. So there is some bones in there, but we won't disturb it just yet. Alright, so we're down just underneath the room here, as you can see. And down here we started our first villager breeding farm. I've turned the sounds off because these guys are really noisy. But basically inside here we've got a whole bunch of villagers. And on this side we've got a 1 high gap where baby villagers can fall in. It's actually 1.5 high actually. Baby villagers can fall in to be sorted out. And if we go around the corner here, this is what happens to them. So they will get pushed down here and dropped into, actually they get dropped into this spot, in that little hole right there, and when the villagers actually grow up, they are big enough to be carried up through this water stream and drop down into here. And this is where we've got all of our villagers at the moment. There's 130 something villagers in there. We have to sort through all of those guys. Over here is our reject pile. These are the villagers we've rejected, and they will be sent to the iron farm automatically by a minecart that just goes up and down here all the way to the iron farm. Now let's have a look at the sorting system. So this is my villager management and trading system. I made a short video on this as well. It's a highly complex, a lot of redstone logic and a few other things that I'm very proud of. And it actually stores a bunch of our villagers. So these ones here are our special villagers that they have extra trades we can get from different villages. And these guys over here are our basic everyday villagers. And let's go down and take a look. Little button here. Oops. So this is the system which you may recognize. We've got all the different types of villagers in here. We've got a farmer. We've got this guy here, which is a toolsmith. We've got this guy here, which is a leather worker, and all of these guys are set up so that we can weed them through and find the best villager out of all of the professions. So the idea here is we stand here at this window, we check the villager, see what trades they have. This guy's got 38 rotten flesh and 8 gold, and if we go to our cleric we can check him, and he's got 36 rotten flesh and 9 gold. So arguably this one is better because I mostly trade rotten flesh with these guys. So in the instance that he's better, we don't change anything on this board over here. Instead we push this button, and let's see if we can show you. That villager will get sent all around the system, and when it's found that the villager has nowhere to go, he gets kicked out into that system there. The minecart comes down and picks up a new guy, and he is ready to be inspected as well. So again, this guy here, there's a shepherd. He's got 16 and 3. And if we check our shepherd, nope, which one is he? 16 and 3. So this one's 17 and 3. So this guy is actually maybe better. So what we're going to do is hit that. He's going to go bye-byes. This guy will press that button, and he's actually going to find his way into the open hole. And he is our new villager, 16. Okay, so very cool. So that's how that system works. Now these little guys, these are really fun. So these ones here are the ones where I have multiple villagers, not just the single villager. So each one of these cells just has one villager that I intend on getting the best trades out of. So the farmer, for example, he's got the best trades for pumpkin and watermelon around at the moment. So he's staying put. But guys like the librarian, for example, this guy has different books that we can get, and we want to make sure we can have a few different choices so that we can get a few other books from other librarians. So these guys have an extra button here. When we push this extra button, it sends him away, and it cycles a bit of a Pez dispenser in the background, and that Pez dispenser releases a new librarian which makes his way through the system and comes up to us. So there is a new librarian with new trades, and we can just keep those guys. And it works exact same way. If we had another librarian here with a really good trade, we could still hit this button here and get rid of our current librarian. So this one's Infinity, we won't get rid of him. We could get rid of the current one and put the new one in his place. So we do that for the librarians, we do that for the weaponsmith, the toolsmith, and the armorer. Now, arguably, the toolsmith, the weaponsmith, and the armorer, you could probably just use the same ones every time, but I like to think that maybe there's some different little enchantments I can get on these guys. So this one has Unbreaking 3 chestplate. Maybe I want one with Protection 3 or something, so that is why I've got a couple of options for those guys. Okay, moving right along, so we've just turned around and this is our little storage room that we started to build. Some of these chests do have items in them, but I didn't really get to use this before I started the big project over the back there. So all of this side is completely empty. And over here we've got just the beginnings of a little map room, and you can see the progression of our big area. So we're actually down here on the map somewhere, and that there is our witch farm, which we found right early on in the piece. And this is a progress report from, I can't remember when that was from, but not very long into it. You can see all the water and all the land is still there. This is completely dug out, and again you can still see there's more work to be done. You can see all the little chests of mine around. This is the beacon. So a few cool things there, and we'll hope to have some more now. When I get this a bit better built, we'll have some more pictures going around, just as a little bit of a history lesson, I guess, a little reminder as to how it all works. And next thing I want to show you is this guy. This is an elevator, and let me just bring it down to us. Alright, so here is the little elevator. This is purpose built for this building, and the idea is you stand on here and you push the button. Sometimes it's a little bit glitchy. Yes, sometimes it is. But the idea is that you do get sent up into the next level, and let's just do it the lazy way and head around because we are completely running out of time here. So let's go around, and obviously a lot easier process than doing this every time if it works. Here we go. Alright, and that comes out just under this big building here. Now this was going to be my new house as opposed to that guy. But again, we started building this just before we started that guy, and that's been taking up a lot of time, so this has sort of been a bit neglected. But this is the little system here, and if we push this you can see it go back down again. Alright, and then if we stand here, we should be able to go up into the building. Glitchy again. Never do anything on live TV or live video. It's really hard. Alright, let's try it again. No, it's not going to work for us today. These, what you're seeing here, are ghost blocks. They are actually a bug in the current version, which I'm hoping will get fixed very soon. But what we might do is just have a quick sleep and we'll jump up there and take a look. Okay, so this is where the elevator should come up. And it is looking out over the new development that we're making over there. This, what I've decided will probably be is going to be probably a bit more of a museum than a house, because yeah, it's actually quite empty at the moment. I was going to run some brewing stands in here and a few other things, but yeah, we just haven't got around to it yet. There was also going to be a nice little bedroom up here so we could look out over the landscape, and around here is a little garden to walk through, a little balcony. So pretty cool, but yeah, still a work in progress, as are a lot of things in this world, unfortunately. Let's go back down here. So this will get finished eventually, and we'll purpose it for something. I'm just not sure exactly what just yet. So let's go. What's this button do? Oh, it goes down. I probably should have caught that down. But that is the big building. Next, let's take a look at this automatic farm here. Creeper explosion blew up that. I haven't fixed that yet. This farm gives us pumpkins, it gives us carrots, it gives us potatoes, it gives us watermelon, it also gives us uncooked chicken, it also gives us sugarcane and wheat and zombie flesh. So this is a really awesome farm. This is all AFK, so I have no interaction with this other than taking out whatever it gives me. And all of these goods on this farm are tradable to villagers for emeralds, and that is why we made it. So I get quite a lot of emeralds for doing nothing off this machine, which is really good. A lot of you guys want to see a tutorial on that, and it's one of the many tutorials I need to make. And if we want to take a quick little look inside, it looks pretty cool actually. Let's go up through here. So at the top we've got a bunch of sorting systems which go down into some deep storage for each of the items. Each storage unit can hold approximately 4 to 5 double chests worth of each of these goods. These are my sugarcane farms here. They're all bud activated, so as the sugarcane grows it will harvest the whole row. As you can hear, there is a chicken farm just over there which just generates its own chicken and eggs and feathers. The eggs and the feathers just keep going around this circle until they despawn and the chicken gets sucked into the sorting system. Down here we have some really cool stuff. Here we've got some villages, and the villages are divided up into 3 farming sections, and each section is responsible for a different type of good. So this is wheat, this is carrots, and this is potatoes. And as these guys harvest, there's hoppers underneath which pick up both, in this one, they pick up both the seeds and the wheat. The seeds get filtered out and drop back here for the villager to replenish his supplies. And over here we've got a neat little machine, and it's just above me here. What it does is it picks up all of the carrots that this guy does and drops off just a couple of those back to him to replant. So once his inventory is full, he just keeps replanting carrots. Same with the potatoes. It drops just a couple potatoes here and all the rest go into the sorting system. And underneath us here, under the pistons, we've got some pumpkins and watermelons, and I've actually sealed them all off here so you can't really see them unless we go around this side. But basically we've got a whole bunch of hopper minecarts, and we've got some, these are the watermelons or the pumpkin plants here, and as they grow they are all bud activated as well. So if I demonstrate, let's see, if I place a block near these pistons here, they are bud activated. So again, very lazy, very easy, and that shoots all the way down the middle with some more hoppers. Once you get to the end here, they just go into a water stream which goes up this item elevator on the outside, makes it look kind of cool, and fills up all of our little chests there. Okay, next thing I want to show you is descending down here. We've got some of where I do my mining. Now I haven't done a lot of mining here because with my new farm for emeralds, it's pretty easy to get emeralds when I want them, so I haven't done a lot of mining for quite some time. But these tunnels stretch on for a very long way, and I just dig out in every direction for as long as I can go. And down here we've got our first little mob farm that we made, and it's based off a skeleton spawner. Pretty cool little room, and I'm still working on it. I don't come down here very much anymore, but it's still useful sometimes, especially when I need some arrows or sometimes even just armor, because the skeletons sometimes spawn with armor. And it's a pretty cool little room. We've got some nice timber roofs, and we've got a portal down here as well. A couple of little statues here with some of the armor I've collected. They managed to fall through the steps somehow, and it must be a little glitch or something. That guy's standing on half of the step, so that's pretty interesting. But this is our little spawner system. We've got 2 buttons here on the wall. Now one of them will actually activate the spawner. As you can see at the moment, it's deactivated with the lights turned on. So if we hit this, the lights turn off in there, which allows skeletons to spawn, and they turn on in here where we're working. The skeletons go up and around in a little water elevator. They make their way all the way over, and then they finally get dropped right here. We'll see if some guys fall down here. Now under here we've got a hopper, and the hopper will collect any drops that we have, and that will go into a little sorting system, which again is under construction, so we need to fix that up. So here's some of the skeletons. I think there's one more. There we go. And once this is completely full of skeletons, you know, probably about 200 or 300 or so, we hit this button, and that dispenses some lava. The lava will take these guys down to a half a heart, and then it's just a matter of giving them a whack or something with a sword, and we can get all the XP, or we can throw a potion of healing at them, and that works as well. So pretty handy little tool there. We've got a little spot here for enchanting, and normally there would be a anvil here, but I've just broke the one that was there recently, so I haven't replaced it yet. Alright, next thing is, let's have a look at this portal system. So I might not be able to show you the portal in action because I know the flint and steel in there is getting a little bit old. But basically what this is an automatic portal system that knows when and where we are going. So this portal is almost directly below the portal at the surface there, and for them not to interfere, to get up and down really quick, all I have to do is disable this portal to begin with, and then we step inside here and re-enable it. And let's hope this works. Yep, beautiful. We'll come through to the nether here. And when I'm at the nether, I just go back through the same portal again. And hopefully, instead of turning up at the skeleton farm, we'll turn up at the hut. And here we are. So, just a little lazy way to get up and down, which is kind of cool. And what I will show you now, another lazy way to get up and down, is this guy. Now this machine takes advantage of the ghost blocks I was talking about earlier, and it will be broken once those ghost blocks are fixed, but at the moment it's still a bit of fun. Let's try not to die because it's very easy to die, so we'll just hit this button here, and what that creates is a ghost block, and if I click on this it actually disappears because it's not really there. And there's a little trick with ghost blocks that between the server and the client they get confused as to where the player is. And if you stand here with the cactus underneath you, you should get shot up into the air, and we just went up quite a few blocks, so that's it down there. So pretty cool little system. It uses a glitch, so eventually it will be patched or fixed, I guess, so that's okay. But that is pretty much all for this little area, so let's move on to the next area. Okay, so next place we're going to look at is the end, and that is the portal we just came out of before. And if we go across this little tiny bridge over here and over to this end portal, we can go to the end and check out the Enderman farm. So let's do that. So this comes out just in front of the portal, and we have to take a little elevator down. Oh, it's night time. Alright, jump in here, push the button. The elevator will take us down. And when we get to the bottom, we can send it back up. And open the door. This is our little launch tunnel. So when we first fought the Ender Dragon, this little tunnel was where we spawned every time. And there's a nice little runway down here. When we got to the end, there used to be a pressure plate here somewhere, which would spam us a bunch of arrows and a bunch of potatoes. And that was our disposable ammunition and food. And I wonder if I can get this little pulse thing working, because it looks really cool. Hang on just one second. There we go, look at that. Awesome. Yeah, so the way this actually worked is we had a little pressure plate here, and as we ran along, there's dispensers under all these stairs. Not that one. But the dispensers would fire out a bunch of armor and equip us with armor. And when we got to the end, it'd spew out a bunch of these guys, arrows and potatoes. And then we hit the button at the end, and we drop down into the portal and come out here on the platform. Now, next thing is, this is where we fought the Ender Dragon. Nothing much to see here. There's the portal on the way back. But here is the piston bolt, so that is our way to get around, and I'm hoping it's going to work for me to demonstrate. So we push the button, if I can reach it. Uh-oh, don't do that. Let's actually just step out of there. Okay, so we need to push this button here. Let's see if I can reach it. Okay. There we go. And it shoots us off extremely fast. Extremely fast. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think this was won by Ultimate Redstone. And really cool little contraption. Very hard to build if you get it wrong, but it's very cool, very fast. And now we are here at the Enderman farm. And let me just turn off these guys. Hang on one second. Okay, so this is the Enderman farm. You can see there is a bunch of ender pearls just falling down into the void there. That is because we are absolutely full on ender pearls at the moment. And if we come over here, there's a nice little drop shaft with some pistons. And if we flick this lever here, the pistons extend and these guys survive. And then we can actually one-hit kill them for XP, Or, what's even better is using some TNT right here and setting it off with flint and steel and getting all the XP that way, because this thing fills up so fast. And this is your standard endermite farm. So there's an endermite up the top there, and the endermite forces all of the endermen to run and chase it and drop down the middle here. And whenever I need ender pearls, I just come over here, and there's heaps in here. So I might even bring some back, because you can always use ender pearls. And this system is just to get rid of the excess, really, because it generates that many ender pearls. I just don't see a point in storing them all, so I just destroy them. But yeah, this is the enderman farm. We've got an enchanting station here and an anvil for repairing, and we've got a bunch of books that I've already run through, so that is fine. But let's make our way back. Okay, here we are back at the launch tunnel, and let's make our way back to the surface so that we can... Oh, can I get back to the surface from here? I actually can't. I'm going to have to dig my way out. Hang on. If we go up through here, there's a little secret way to get out, which I hope I haven't closed up. There we go. But let's go now and go back to the nether and check out the zombie pigman farm. So the zombie pigman farm is a design that I adapted from Snow Crash, and I call my one the Stairway to Heaven, and it uses a few different techniques to get the zombie pigmen to die. So let's get up there. Now, to get up there, you have to go up and around this corner, and actually up into there. We want to go up through there. So I'm just going to throw some ender pearls. Hopefully I don't die for whatever reason. Okay, that is the way to most of the nether fortress that I use. And if you go up just a little bit further here, you can go up this little improvised staircase, up and around the corner here, up and around here to the zombie pigman farm, which is up this ladder. Okay, so let's go up the ladder. Alright, top of the zombie pigman farm is a huge hole in the bedrock that took me ages to dig out with dark oak trees, as you can see. And if we go up and above here, there is a huge ladder all the way up to our zombie pigman farm, which you can sort of see in the haze there. It's a big round disc, basically. You can see some of the workings coming on now. And this system is eventually going to get patched as well, I think. I think in the new 1.9 update, I believe this is patched, but until then I'm using it for as long as I can to get good amounts of XP and heaps of gold. And when it does get patched, I'll fix it so that we can still use it for XP and gold. It just won't be quite as good. Alright, so this is the Stairway to Heaven section, and as you can see, we've got a few little zigzags going around. Let's have a look from the bottom. So this is the bottom of it, and it zigzags all the way up there and all the way down here. And it's a cool little idea that I came up with, which when the zombie pigmen actually start chasing you, they fall down a long drop shaft right down to the bottom. They work their way up the stairs using pathfinding, and they fall down here, which is another smaller fall, and that is where they die. So they die right where you stand, basically. And if we close this off, I'll show you how it works. I've got an arrow and a bow here, so let's shoot one of these guys. Okay, they all become aggro and start chasing me. If I stand over here, you can see there are already some guys falling down the hole there. And if we look down the side here, oh, there's a guy who wants to say hello. If we look down the side, we should start to see zombie pigmen coming up through the stairway. And they push each other all the way up. They'll come up here as well, which you may or not... Yep, there we go. And they literally just fall right at my feet. And this is how we get heaps of XP and heaps of gold, also zombie flesh, and even some swords and things too. So very useful design. It's a couple of levels, and I'm not game to go up there now because they're all mad at me. But I've stood here for quite some time, got up to 100 levels a few times. I got 100 levels one time and died immediately, which was no good. But down here is a little sorting system, and I don't want to go down here just because this guy is here. Might see if we can get rid of him actually. I don't know how, but let's stand over here and maybe see if we can shoot him off. Okay, that might do. Alright, let's go down and have a quick look. So this is our little sorting system, and basically all the drops go around this little track here. We get swords end up in the back here, and I'm slowly building up a collection of swords that have got some really good enchantments. Over here we've got gold ingots, here we've got rotten flesh, and here we've got gold nuggets, and the same on this side. Well, quite a few there, lots there, and a few there. And that is the zombie pigman farm for you in a nutshell. And if we go back down here, we might get attacked, we might not, we'll see. Okay, let's move on to the next area. Okay, so when you come out of the portal where the zombie pigman farm is, you actually arrive at the portal up the top here. This also has an automatic portal system connected to it that is connected to the two other portals down there. However, I don't come up here very often, so I don't really use that part of it much. So if I need to get up here, I can just go to the zombie pigman farm and then come back to here. So this is the first mob farm that we built. I called it the hammer because it kind of looks like a big hammer, and this is the handle, and this is the pommel, I think you call it. And it's a very crude mob farm that I made early on to get some nice drops and a bit of XP. So we just pretty much wait here. The mobs will spawn up there and they'll just fall down and they'll die instantly. Sometimes we'll get some that survive and we just kill them like this. And then there's a very small little sorting system here which goes into various drops that we may or may not want. So not much in here again because I haven't spent a lot of time up here lately. We've also got the armor, which is really cool because I will be using that for some decoration purposes at some point. This guy will eventually get decommissioned and I think we'll end up just tearing the whole thing down. But for the moment it's still nice to look at sometimes. It helps me find my way when I'm out in the middle of the wilderness, so that's a good thing. And I'm just wondering if there's anything else here that I can show you. I don't think so. So let's head down to the sawmill, which is just over there. Let's see how close we can get here. I'll throw this all the way off there. And we'll see how close we get. Not too bad. Okay, so this is the sawmill, which is the Halo tree farm. Really cool little design. Yet another design that I need to get some... Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, babies. There's baby zombies coming. And I've got the... oh, no, they're normal zombies. Okay. Got the sounds turned off. Alright, let's run through here. Oh, there is a door missing. Hang on. Okay, so I just escaped out of there with my life. So this is... Oh, whoops. This is the Halo tree farm. Another cool idea that I came up with, and yet again I still need to do another tutorial for this guy. But what it is a little tree farm that uses slime blocks and elevators. So if we flick it on right here, and we get a little bit of bone meal. So let's put one of these in the chest here. Get some bone meal going. And I better put that away. There we go. And over here we've got some saplings. So let's grab a couple of saplings. Let's put that up in there. The idea here is that now it's turned on, you plant the sapling in the middle, you use your bone meal on the sapling until it grows, you hit the button, and then the tree is ascended to a better place and it comes down and resets itself, ready for the next tree. It collects all of the saplings and drops from the tree and also all of the wood, so it is pretty much lossless and really easy to use, and it looks kind of cool too, I think. It's got the big H for Halo there. Pretty cool. So we just do that again. It'll do all your different types of trees. This one here is a very rare occurrence. Sometimes it will make an oddly shaped tree, but that's okay because we can still generally get it to work. So what will happen is it will go up, realise that it's stuck, it will reset itself, and we can see where the problem is, which is up there. There's too many blocks in the way, so let's just break that one, and it should send it up again. There we go. Easy as that to reset. And as you may have noticed, that apple was sitting there and that is gone, and it ends up in the chest here, which is really cool. So that is the Halo tree farm, and if we go out around the corner here, let's hope there's no zombies waiting for me. Actually, Let's just turn the hostile creatures back on so I can hear them. Okay, there is something out there. Let's see how we go. So lots of slimes, but basically all of the stuff gets pushed to here, and it makes it nice and easy to harvest. Oh, let's get out of here. Yeah, so it makes it nice and easy to harvest. It'll just push it out into a big cube. Then you just go along with a nice axe and just cut down all the wood that you can handle. Okay, this is one of the last places we're going to have a look at, and this is the most recent structure that we've been building. This is the mega farm. Well, it's the mega base, I guess you'd call it. It will be lots of farms in here too. But this is what we've been building for quite some time now, and it's taking up a lot of resources and a lot of time, hence why there's so much unfinished stuff in my world. But this farm is awesome. So right here is where the witch farm was on that map that we looked at earlier, and it is an automatic witch farm that drops some witches down through the floor, down into this drop shaft and collection area. And it generates a lot of drops, and we've been running this for quite some time, and we've got chests on chests of various items. A lot of my redstone came from this machine. You can see there's just redstone everywhere, random redstone everywhere, so lots and lots of drops from this machine, which is really cool. Basically what happens is the witches spawn up there, there's a snowman up there which sees them and shoots a snowball. Snowball hits a villager, which trips a tripwire, which shifts the floor, and the mobs fall down. Just in, yeah, great timing. Well done. Very good. So they fall down, and it's just far enough to kill the witches. It's just far enough to kill them. And under here we've got hoppers, and the hoppers will pick up any drops under here. Now, what you can see here are some dispensers and stairs. Now, we have a button hooked up so that when we push the button, we can actually release water here, which lets the witches stay alive. And the reason why we might want to do that is we might want to sort them, we might want to use looting, we might want to kill them in a different manner, put them into a potion machine, lots of different things. So that is why we have that, and you will be able to operate it on both sides. One side will probably be for XP and drops, and the other side will be for sorting and various other utilities that I want to use mobs for. So we can't use that at the moment because it's not connected at the moment. But that is how that works. Now up above there is actually another mob farm above the witch hut, and that is currently deactivated because for the moment witches are what I want. They give me gunpowder to blow out all this area here, they give me redstone, and they give me other things like glowstone powder and stuff like that. So that is what I want running, but if I did want something else running, I can hit a little button here and an item gets sent out, and for some reason it's not working at the moment, but what is supposed to happen is an item would go up through this glass, all the way up the column of glass, right to the top, and when it gets to the top it will trigger a mechanism that will turn the mob system on and off up there. So let's go up and take a look at the mob system and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are up inside the mob farm itself. We've got half slabs all the way around here, so technically it's quite dark in here. Where is our light level? Light level of 0, so it is pitch black dark in here at the moment. And what we have here is a little system that is hooked up to the item elevator down below, and I can demonstrate exactly what it does. Let's head around the corner. Around the corner to here. So this is a chest with some of the items we've already put in to get this to turn on and off. And if you look up above us, this is the mob farm I'm talking about. At the moment all these lamps here are turned on, so it is deactivated, so no regular mobs will spawn here. It's a 3 high slime block, what is it? Trapdoor, no not trapdoor, pressure plate activated mob farm, and it shoots the mobs off the edge into this central collection area, which goes down the same track that all the witches do. But in order to turn it on and off, we've got that item elevator down below, and if we throw an item into here, you can see it turns off the lights in a really cool manner, and that essentially makes this system active. And if we want to turn it back off again, we just throw another item in. You can see some creepers just went through there, and that is now turned off again. So now it's back to witches only. So it's a good little mix that I can do, and eventually I will have an option where you can turn the witches off as well, and that gives us potentially 3 different ways we can use the mob farm. We can use just witches, we can use just mobs, or we can use a bunch of the both of them. So that is what that system is all about, and it's quite a big structure, still quite a bit of work to do to it, and you probably don't know this yet, but this structure will actually get even taller. It will almost be as tall as that is up there, so it's going to get quite big, but that is a long way off in the future. So let's head back down here. Okay, getting towards the last few things to show you. This is the most recent work I've been doing, and this is a giant underground storage room, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. This storage room is going to look amazing, I hope, and we're only looking at 1/4 of it at the moment, so there is quite a lot of storage there. This is all going to be automatic storage, so self-sorting, and we're going to have 4 of those, one there, one in this corner, one in this corner, and one in this corner, and this whole room is going to be pretty awesome to walk into. So there's quite a lot of work going on down here. It's taking a lot of time, so there's not much progress, but we are getting there, and very soon we'll be able to look back on this and say, wow, it's turned out really well. Well, that is the plan anyway. So this is probably the last thing I want to show you. I don't think there is anything else that I can think of. There's probably a few little bits and pieces that I've missed, but I'll let you guys discover those for yourself when you get the world download happening. And yeah, otherwise feel free to roam around and have a look at what we've been doing, and you can have a bit of a closer look at some of the stuff we've been building on a series that a lot of you guys really enjoy. So that is about all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a long episode, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope for some of you that haven't seen some of those things, there's a bit of insight to the rest of my world. This, as I said, is only early days for this world, and there is still so much we can do with it. So don't worry if things seem unfinished. Well, look at that big patch of witches. Don't worry if things seem unfinished, because they are, and we will get back to them when I do some more episodes and get some more progress done. But thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you again next time. And next episode we are going to do some really awesome work with a guardian farm, and we've got some cutting edge technology which I don't think you've probably seen it done this way before, and it should be quite spectacular. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.